Thank you. It is 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and reconvene this meeting for the evening session. The first item is to certify the closed meeting.
I'll go ahead and read the certificate for your benefit. Do each of you certify to the best of your knowledge only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered by the Board of Supervisors of closed meeting.
It's a roll call vote.
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Donnelly?
Aye.
Mr. Whitson?
Aye.
Mr. Parrish?
Aye.
And I also. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the public comment period. If you wish to comment, please raise your hand. You will be identified by the chair. Come to the microphone, identify yourself and the district from which you come. And if you can limit your remarks under 5 minutes, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. Ms. Sally, you had your hand up first.
I'm Sally Latham Haynes.
Grab the rip rope over
And I'm here to comment on the color of the Sperryville Tower. I live on Woodward Road and I have a full-on view. So I'm really familiar with the color. My partner and I didn't oppose the tower, but we never imagined that it would be painted to stand out rather than blend in with the environment. Woodward Road is somewhat of a scenic byway, and it's a very popular road for hikers, and the landscape is just not as nice as it used to be. I'm not indifferent to people who may view that tower from the sky, but I think the great majority of our citizens see it against the mountain in what used to be a really spectacular view, but it's not quite so now. I'm concerned that now they'll start attaching antenna and such, and we will make a bad situation worse by putting white things on this tower. So a group of citizens has been collecting signatures, and we've already turned in quite a few. So I'm bringing more to you tonight. We have collected 151 signatures of people who would like to see the tower repainted, and actually also a few supporters from Culpeper and Madison who were not counting but would also like to see it repainted. So I'll be giving you these signatures tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Patty McGill Peterson, and I'm a citizen of Sperryville, a fine village at the gateway of the Shenandoah National Park. I also am a trustee of the Shenandoah National Park Trust. And so both as a villager of Sperryville and a member of the trust, I treasure the mountains that surround us. I also know that we have to do business and we have to communicate, and we need ways to do that. And we can't just say no to everything. But I think we have a wonderful opportunity when monopole went up to paint brown. There is no way we would be talking about this in the way we are today if it had been painted brown. And I mean from the point of view of the park and the point of view of the citizens of Sperryville, but also all the people who come to visit us. So it's not just my view, it's everybody's view. And I know when people visit us, we've gone from what a beautiful view to what is that? I was at a reception where we stood on the deck of one of the wineries on Christmas Tree Lane. And we came out to a beautiful evening, and there it was. So my sense is that we have an opportunity here to do the right thing, not because it's just a nice thing for our view, but for everybody's view who are attracted to this area, who help the local businesses be successful. And in the end, we have a win-win situation if we do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do I see another hand on that side? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Sally Robert, and I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of Shenandoah National Park and also the Appalachian National Scenic Trail, which both have looking down at the beautiful view of Sperryville from the mountains. And just wanted to be here to talk about the color of the tower, and I understand that's going to be a topic of discussion tonight. And so we wanted to give you our perspective on if the opportunity does arise to repaint the tower. We would like to suggest the painting of the color of brown. And we had suggested that originally when I came before the Planning Commission back in 2018, and the superintendent also came before the Board of Supervisors in 2018 to talk about the beauty of the park and how Sperryville just blends right in with that beauty. And we weren't against the tower, just hoping that it would be painted brown or constructed of a material that would be a darker color. So if the opportunity arises, we just wanted to make sure you all know what our perspective is, and hope that you'll take that into consideration. And if you're interested, I also have the original letters that we wrote back in 2016, just to show you what our perspective is. And I can hand those over to you now. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. All right, Carrie Sutton, I think you had your hand up next.
Hi, I'm Carrie Sutton, a resident of Sperryville, as well as I own a little coffee shop in downtown. So I have a couple of perspectives. One is, as a resident, I once had this beautiful, uninterrupted view of the mountains. I now have a big white tower that beautifully glows in the evening because it's so white. So from a personal perspective, it has destroyed the view that we used to have. It's right out my front door. I can see it. I have to tell you, I was a little shocked by it because I remember the balloon test. I walked up Woodard Road that day to look at it, and I saw the balloon. Later that day, I was at my house looking for it, and I did see the balloon. It was a half an hour later. I can still tell how that tower appears. It towers over there. The other perspective I wanted to give as a person who has a business in town, we have a great number of locals who visit our little place, but we have a lot of tourists. And tourists come to this county because of the beauty of this county. And we put that tower right in the middle of one of the most beautiful views in this county. Painting it would actually significantly help improve that view. It is a little surprising to me if you drive in Sperryville. You can see that tower as you drive in Sperryville, as you go up Woodard Road, as you go up my road. You can see it from Turkey Mountain. It's a little shocking how you can see that thing almost everywhere. And I noticed we've been talking about the view shed when we talk about the other towers. I think we need to think about how we can return our view shed to the tower. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Anyone else wishing to speak? Yes, Mr. Miller.
Cliff Miller from Piedmont, and I live in Sperryville. And I'm sitting kind of high in Sperryville looking out, and we have an end that's that is also has some incredible views. And this really does mess that all up, and it messes it up not only for us, but for anybody else who's looking at the mountains, which is a dominant view that we look at. We can't take it down, but we can paint it, and that certainly would be a great help. And I don't know the cost, but the cost is not significant to making sure that we have a place that moves back to being the beauty that we had before. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Mr. Taylor?
Good evening. Looking forward to the new board and seeing how things go. I'm from Sperryville. We own a piece of property in view of it. Actually, it's right near where Sally lives, and she overlooks that. And, I was always for the cell tower, for emergency services and things like that. But I was talking to someone today, and I said, what do you call that color? He said he called it a popsicle. And that's what it kind of looks like, a popsicle up in the air. So it would be great if you consider, think about paying, to get repainted. And I thought brown was a good color. I didn't know what color to pick. It sounds like someone's coming to work for it on it. But it does separate. If you're on anywhere regular ground or a little bit elevated, the background is that little mountain right behind it, and boy, it really does stick out. And I don't even live out there. I live up in the hollow, so I can't see it from there. But when I go out there, it reminds me that I'm in Sperryville when I see the popsicle in the air. So thank you, and I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Hi,
Thank you, Mrs. Dow.
my name is Carolyn Yao, and I live, thank you, sir. I live my address is Washington, but I'm closer to Sperryville. And I'm here to ask the board to please come to a resolution on the dump. I work there part-time, and from the time I go in the morning, I am yelled at, I am cursed at because of our situation. And I ask everybody to please bear with us. And I've even told a bunch of people today that there was a meeting and that they could come and speak for themselves. But nobody was spoken yet. So I'm going to speak. So if I can get everybody's help in please making a decision on what company you're going to go with, and let's try to make it a lot more accessible to all of our people in the county. Thank you. And I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Ms. Yellow, thank you very much. I know you and other staff members have been under a lot of pressure, and certainly this new board will do everything we can to resolve this quickly, and most importantly, give better communication to the public to take the pressure off of you. Yes. I know the holidays were very difficult. I saw you down there, and we do appreciate everything you've been doing, and hopefully this is the end of your suffering.
What?
So, and I know this will be a job you enjoy, but we appreciate it.
I appreciate you telling me that, sir.
Thank you.
And another little quickie is signage would be very helpful in big letters so that people can see, because they complained to me about not being able to read. And I said, excuse me, but it's right there, sir.
Yeah.
Can you read?
We'll do better on communication. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Carolyn. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Yes, sir.
John Doris, fire captain, Glenville Volunteer Fire Department, Assistant Chief Mike Williams. We were looking into purchasing a tanker for our department. We were told we had to bring it before the board. We had 3 different tankers we're looking at, anywhere from 2017 to 2021. 25 barge, 3,000 gallon dual axle tandem, Freightliners altogether. They are from 320,000 to just shy of 400,000.
The tanker that we're looking at now is 320,000. A department in Pennsylvania owns it right now, and we're on the verge of losing this tanker if we don't get a decision.
We were aware that we were supposed to bring it to your attention before we went any further. We got told stop and bring it to you all. I've been in contact with the department up there. They purchased the tanker brand new. They paid $382,000 for it. It's ran one fire call, and the department was taken over for embezzlement. So the township selling the truck. And so they couldn't sell it for a new price, they had to sell it for a used price, and they settled for that. They have another department that is one of the signed contract on it. They're trying to hold it for us until we get answers.
Thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to speak? If there's no one else wishing to speak, I'll declare that the public comment period closed. Sorry, if you wanted to hand that out. That would
I'm
be great.
sorry, I don't know if all the supervisors have had a chance to see the tower. I did bring pictures and wanted to give them.
Thank you.
Definitely.
The next item on the agenda is the presentations of appreciation from Mr. Lizinski and Mr. Welch. The resolution we passed in the afternoon session for Mr. Lizinski reads, whereas Honorable John D. Lizinski completed his public service to the citizens of Rappahannock County on December 31st, 2019, and whereas it is the position of this board that Mr. Lizinski served this community with detail-oriented intelligence, understanding, compassion, and integrity during his 4 years on this board, and whereas during his tenure on this board, he held appointments on a number of boards, committees, and commissions, including as a founding member of the Broadband Committee and the Building Committee, through which he helped guide important work on critical infrastructure concerns, and whereas throughout his term on the board, Mr. Lizinski was a tireless worker for his constituents in the Hampton District, while also being dedicated to the quality of life for all county residents. And whereas Mr. Lizinski was well studied on the matters at hand and served with quiet integrity, keeping the best interests of our citizens always at heart. Now therefore be it resolved that the members of the Rappahannock County Board of Supervisors extend their sincerest gratitude to the Honorable John D. Lizinski and wish him all of the best in his future endeavors. Be it further resolved that this resolution be spread across the minutes of the Rappahannock County Board of Supervisors, so that all citizens may reflect upon the service and accomplishments of this dedicated public servant. Thank you.
There you go. Chuck's got the grip and grin here. You can pivot.
Over a little bit.
And we put you back on the Broadband Committee this
Hey, there you
afternoon as
go.
well.
Take it.
Thank you.
Good. Are you photobombing?
Not intentionally.
I just want to say, it's my honor to serve the community, the people of Rappahannock County for 8 years, 4 on the school board and 4 here on the Board of Supervisors. I want to thank my fellow board members, as well as Mr. Bennett who's here this evening. Thank the county staff, Crystal, Lauren. I served with 4 county administrators in my 4 years. And maybe that's, so I should thank also John and Debbie and Brenda, and most certainly Gary, who I think without Gary for these last couple of years, the chaos of 4 administrators over 4 years would not have been overcome. So a special thank you to you, Gary, for your
your help and guidance in my time on the board. So, thanks all.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Ron? Ron, thank you, sir. Thanks for your leadership.
Well, thank you, John.
Thank you, sir.
And then we have another presentation, special presentation to the Honorable Roger A. Welch, completed his public service to the citizens of Rappahannock County on December 31st, 2019, and whereas it is the position of this board that Mr. Welch served this community with intelligence, understanding, compassion, and integrity during his 22 years on this board, serving as chairman for the most recent 10 years, and whereas during his tenure on the board, he held appointments on a number of boards, committees, and commissions, including the Rappahannock Rapidan Regional Commission, always representing Rappahannock County in the most favorable light. And whereas throughout his term on the board, Mr. Welch was a tireless worker for his constituents in the Wakefield district, while also being dedicated to the quality of life of all county residents. And whereas Mr. Welch served with quiet integrity, with the best interests of the citizens always at heart, always trying to forge consensus. Now therefore be it resolved that the members of the Rappahannock County Board of Supervisors extend their sincerest gratitude to the Honorable Roger A. Welch and wish him all of the best in his future endeavors. Be it further resolved that this resolution be spread across the minutes of the Rappahannock County Board of Supervisors, so that all citizens may reflect upon the service and accomplishments of this dedicated public servant. Thank you, Mr. White.
I was kind of hoping John wouldn't give us a little speech because that meant I probably.
Never made it easy for you, Ron.
Thank you, John. Thank you, board, for this. Certainly, anybody that's in this room already knows that this is not an easy job for anybody. And I think I had a lot of help from the citizens of Rappahannock, and I appreciate that. I'd like to say thank you.
Thought you might make sit
Took in the board appreciation, and they purchased you a chair similar to that which you've sat in for 20 years. Geneva can't even use it because it's got your name on it. And if you'd like, I can deliver that to you.
Or you do now.
Next item on the agenda is our old business, the solid waste management operation discussion. We are going to move this around in the agenda some so that we can discuss.
Right, so the closed meeting went, first session, today's session of the meeting went fairly long. The closed meeting went fairly long. We weren't able to get to this topic in closed meeting, so I believe the board is inclined to amend the agenda to move this item to the last item on the agenda and then proceeded with a short closed meeting only about this item. I think that's what I heard earlier.
I think that's correct. And so I think that the motion would be to add this item under, we were going to do the sign ordinance S2 and then have the, I thought board discussion as item L come after that. And so it would be moving it to just before item T.
Yes.
And I would put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That takes us to review of interim county administrator's exit report.
Ms. Smith requested this item be added to the agenda, tracking the previous interim county administrator Brandon Gartman's exit report. Attached to this agenda item is a matrix that lists each of the recommendations made by Ms. Gartman. Provides an update of where we are on that. I've printed a copy for each of the board members in a larger format. You're welcome to take any feedback the board may have on it. Many of the items have been resolved. You may want to, for future review, remove those items from the table so it's a little bit easier to track. Many other items are pending the current study by Baker Tilly for the compensation and classification study and review of our draft personnel manual. With that, I guess I'll open it to any questions the board may have.
Thank you for updating us again this year, Gary. I know we went through a similar exercise with the same matrix this time last year, and that compelled us to take the action for the personnel manual, which is still out for analysis. But I guess to my mind, this is just a good touchstone for the progress we are making as a board. But also, in reading this and thinking about the things that we have accomplished, I wondered if it wasn't time for you to start your own list.
I got a list.
I think that if there's things pending that
We've been picking up many of those things along the way, actually, in addition to this. But there are others, and high on my list are the zoning matters that need to be resolved. So I don't want to distract us from comp plan and the zoning ordinance amendments and all that. That should be your top priority.
fair enough. Thank you.
Well, maybe instead of giving us an exit report, maybe later on you give us just a midterm report.
Okay.
Right.
Midterm, are you forecasting my demise?
Well, I didn't say what part of the
Oh.
midterm. I mean, you could be at the beginning of that mid.
Absolutely.
Mr. Winston?
No, I just want to thank Mr. Curry again. I know as a new board member, I feel very confident in the foundation you're providing us to do our job. And I think I speak for many citizens when I say that. And this level of organization is really terrific to see, both from a position here on Board of Supervisors, but also the people out there who want to see county government operate efficiently and in an organized way. And I do want to take this opportunity to thank you for your service to the county so far and your organized approach to doing business.
I appreciate it. I'll pass that over to Ms. Garten for providing the excellent exit report and staff for helping achieve these items. My goal all along, as I've said multiple times, is to help the board make informed decisions, whether I like them or not, and whether the public likes them or not. It's making sure you're making informed decisions.
Thank you for updating us again this year.
There's a lot of information to digest. I would suggest if there are any comments or questions or suggestions for path forward on any of the remaining items, just shoot the information to me. I can compile that and keep track.
I think my only specific request would be, should we set a timeline for an updated list that you've authored that perhaps embraces some of this mid-year?
The board is empowered to do that if they want to.
But I think it would be good to